Hello, this is my first actual video. This is Tilly Natural Soaps and all things pamper. Sorry. Well, today I will be cutting my facial soap. This is my Glacier Marine Clay facial soap, and I did add some activated charcoal in it. Sorry I don't have the process of mixing the soap in front of you. Maybe another tutorial for that tutorial. But I actually went on vacation to Las Vegas. Kind of was a disaster, but neither here or there. And I forgot all about my soap. So I used the mold. Got the mold from Essential Depot. This is the back here. This is a soap. You can see the grays in the soaps. I don't know if you can see it. Let me get up here first. There's grays. So this is activated charcoal, sea clay, and Marine Glacier clay. Canadian Marine Glacier clay. Facial clay. Glacier clay. Whew. So make sure your surface is clean, which is there. Then I put down some wax paper, not cheap wax paper because I use it a lot, so I get it out of the dollar store, Dollar Tree. Then I have my cutter, Dollar Tree. I can't find my other soap color, so I'm going to see if this works. That slices pretty well. So I do a thin bar here because I do sample bags. So I try to do a little bit, like a ½ inch size or whatever bars for my samples. I usually put maybe 8 samples in a bag. A lot of people cut their thin ends off. I don't know what they do with their ends, but I usually take my ends. If it's not enough for a larger bar, I'll make 2 small bars, and I use those for samples. So every time I make soap, I cut off at least 2 or 3 pieces for the sample bag. So, dollar store, this is really a scraper, but it works good as a soap thing. So, put this to the side, it does work. So, this is that. Still pretty. See how pretty that is. Then, when I have extra soap, I usually use my little candy mold or whatever, or I use my cupcakes. So, I also would do cupcake size soaps. And I can put these in bags too and sell them. Or sometimes I just use them for my personal use. And they just pop right out of the silicone mold as well. Got these silicone molds at a store called Ollie's Good and Cheap. It actually was a recipe for a cupcake book. And it came with 12 molds in the cupcake book. I think I paid like $5 for the book because I was going to start making cupcakes, but didn't do it. So these pop out pretty good. And put these to the side. 1 second, let me see if I can adjust this camera to make it bigger. I'm going to pause it. Okay, try to see if I can bring the camera up a little forward. This is the first time I'm doing this, so excuse me if it's some technical difficulties. Well, my soap mold, this is just a regular CVP pipe I got from Lowe's, and I just cut it down myself because I do have a saw, electric saw, circular saw, or whatever, and I just cut them down myself. Sometimes you can have them do it in the store if you don't want to do it or don't have the equipment to cut it down. So what I do is I line my paper. I'm going to have to take my gloves off for a minute. But I line the mold inside. Some people use cooking oil or something to spray inside. I find that not the best. I don't have time to be popping it in the freezer to let it freeze and then try to pop it out. It's too much work. And a lot of times when you use the cooking oil, all it does is make more soap when you're pouring soap inside of this. So I don't do it that way. I'll just go ahead and take paper, freezer paper, wax paper, whatever you want to use, It's up to you. But I used, I didn't use freezer paper this time. I used the sheet of paper that you use for like the cookies that you can cook right on the paper inside the oven. Parchment paper. That's what I use. So, and then what I did was, instead of using a end cap here, I just put the stuff over top of the mold, taped it around. Some people rubber band, but I like to tape mine to make it nice and tight. And then you just take it off. If I can get the tape off. I forgot where the end was. I usually fold the end down so I can take it off. But 1 second. And pause this until I find it. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. I just had to use a knife to cut the thing off, the tape, because I couldn't find where I folded it. So what you do is, here's, see, then you don't have to worry about it. A lot of times people use the caps, but the caps is not like smooth at the bottom, so a lot of times you have to cut that piece of soap off, which is fine. This one did come out because I didn't use the best quality of the tape that the paper that I normally use. I usually get parchment paper from like a supply store, food supply store, but I got the parchment paper out of the dollar store, which I've decided because buying more out of the store for sell food supply, after a while it gets expensive. So you gotta weigh your pros and your cons. And I don't do silicone molds that much. So, I mean not silicone, but PVC that much, so. So what you do is, you put the paper in there. Yep. Gloves. Even though my hands are cleaned up still. And let me see if I can pop this out. Jeez Louise. Oh, still have some right here. Okay. I'm having difficulties with the tape. Looking everywhere. Let me pause this. Let me see if I can pop this out real quick. I don't want to keep you waiting. Okay. Gotta check to see if the thing is on. I guess it's on. Can't tell. Don't have my glasses on. Can't see the small print. Hello. It's on. So, I just had to take and flip it over and pop it. I cut some of the soap out where it seeped out a little, but all you have to do is press on it once you use the paper, and it rolls right on out. There you go. This is my silicone mold. So, next time I'll use better paper. It's the first time I use this paper, so let's see. It does just peel right off, but see? You usually get a thicker style. Next time I use parchment paper like I've been. If it don't, what's the saying? If it's not broke, don't fix it. So, but it's still easier than trying to squeeze it out after popping it in the freezer, pressing it on a can or something and trying to push the mold out. It's a nightmare when you don't line it with something. The paper is just a little irritating. I usually don't have this problem with this paper, but today I think I do. So here you go. I'm taking the paper off. And you don't need to see all this. Okay, I'm back. I got the paper off. So, I need to, there you go. Make sure you use good paper. But I never had this problem pulling the paper off before, and maybe because I left it in the mold and forgot all about it, and on the flight to Las Vegas I was. So what I do is I cut off the ends. See? If I want to scrape this off, I can, and I can sell this as a sample too. So this is what it looks like. I don't know if you can tell with the light. So, this is my Canadian Glacier Marine Facial Soap. I think it's the best soap ever. I sell a lot of the charcoal soap, the black soap. And I've been using that ever since I probably was 10. I used to always get it from this African shop when I was a little girl. That worked for my acne. Then I also made a pure coconut and shea butter soap. People say you can't do it, but I did. It just had a half a cup, I believe, of coconut oil in it. Coconut oil and shea butter. And then I put a little bit of cocoa butter in it, pure cocoa butter. Not the washed kind, the yellow, the regular cocoa butter. And that's good for getting the, like if you have spots on your face, brown spots, black spots, or when your acne had enough spots or whatever, eventually that will clear up those spots. It's not a lightening soap where it's going to lighten all your skin. It just actually really helps with the spots. But if you use the coconut soap, you do have to put a little bit of cream or something on your face, facial cream, because it is a little dry. But with my black soap, I don't too much. And with this soap, it's almost like exfoliating. But it also makes your skin glow. It's almost like it's glowing. When I used it when I was out in Vegas with the dry heat, then it had a brush fire. You can smell that. I washed my face. And it almost looked like I had shimmer on my cheeks, but I didn't. So I started using this when I first started making it to get all the dead layers off my skin, my face. You'll see the difference. I suggest using a white washcloth so you can see how much dirt you have on your face. And then I went down to maybe once or twice a week, and I might use the black soap between then. A lot of people said that they just wash their face with oil. To me, personally, I think you should use some type of soap or something on your face, gentle soap, and clean those pores. You clean your face with soap, get all the bad stuff out of your skin, all the dirt, the oil, toxins, or whatever. And then once you finish washing your face, rinse it real good, and take a cold wash rag, as cold as you can, from the faucet, and you just put it on your face and you close your pores. That's how you eliminate a lot of pimples, a lot of blackheads. The pores are not really big. That's how you tighten your face. Believe me, if you do it, it works. I'm almost 50. And I look good, I may say myself. So here's my soap. So let me put this up here so you can see it. So there's my soap. The lighting is bad, so I can't help it with the lighting. But once I learn how to fix the lighting, so this is my new facial soap. It really works well. After I do it, I wrap it, and I buy, with this, I use the coffee filters. You can do it in the tan filters or the white filters. I believe I used the white one because I didn't have any more tan. And I just created a label and I put it on there. It's not rocket science, but I love doing this. Even if I'm not selling anything, I still love doing it. It just gives me some pastime. No, I don't use a soap cutter with all the measurements, so a lot of my soaps may be different sizes. I try to tend to always make them at least the correct size, but the bigger ones, if I find a piece that's too thick, I may keep it for myself for family use. Or I may just put it in a gift bag. When somebody does gift packages, I may put maybe the thicker soaps or bars or whatever inside the gift pack. And it depends on what they're buying. A lot of times I have a lot of my friends who buy gift sets for like soaps. They always want a black soap, a facial soap, something that smells good, matching lotions or whatever. So I try to make that really nice and neat. I'm always working on packaging. So every now and then I will be changing labels, changing how I package things. But hey, I think that's growing as a small business. Hopefully one of these days I'll get very big. But thank you for looking at this video. I know it wasn't the best, but hey, it's me. This is Tilia Natural Soaps and All Things Pampered. Goodbye.